She never thought I would leave until I was gone. Can we talk? That was the message that appeared on my phone exactly 1 year after I walked away. It was from her. The woman I once loved. The woman I once trusted. The woman who betrayed me. I stared at the screen, feeling nothing. No anger, no sadness, no longing. Because the moment she chose someone else, I chose myself. I walked away without a word, without a fight, without looking back. She thought I'd come crawling back. She thought I'd miss her. But now, a year later, she was the one begging for another chance. The day I found out, I didn't react the way she expected. There were no fights, no screaming, no begging for answers. I simply packed my things and left. She called, I didn't answer. She texted. I never replied. She asked my friends about me. They had nothing to tell her. Because for me, she no longer existed. I disappeared. A new city, a new job, a new life. I focused on myself, became someone even I barely recognized. And for an entire year, I never once looked back. Until now. Until this message. The woman who shattered everything was now the one trying to piece it back together. At first, I know she thought I'd be back. She probably told herself I was just being dramatic, that I needed time, that after a few weeks I'd miss her too much to stay away. But weeks turned into months, and months turned into a year. I never called, I never checked in, I never looked back. Meanwhile, her world was falling apart. The man she betrayed me for, he left her. The exciting new life she thought she wanted, it didn't last. The home we once shared, it felt empty without me. For the first time, she realized she didn't just lose a relationship, she lost the one person who truly cared for her. And now, she wanted me back. But this time I wasn't waiting for her. The message sat on my screen, glowing in the dark room. Can we talk? For a long time, I just stared at it. A year ago, I would have done anything to hear those words. But now? Now they meant nothing. I could have ignored it. I could have blocked her number and moved on with my night. But instead, I typed a simple reply. Why? Seconds later, the dots appeared. She was typing. I just need to see you, please. I almost laughed. A year ago, she didn't need me. Now she was begging for my time. I didn't owe her anything. But a part of me wanted to see her facito, see the regret, the pain, the realization that she lost me forever. So, against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her. The cafe was quiet when I walked in. I spotted her immediately sitting at a small table in the back, nervously stirring a cup of coffee she hadn't touched. She looked different. Not the confident, carefree woman who once told me she had found someone new. Now she looked tired. Her hair was slightly unkempt, her eyes hollow, dark circles beneath them. She wasn't the woman who broke me anymore. She was the woman broken by her own choices. When she saw me, her lips parted slightly, like she was searching for words. I sat down across from her, waiting. You look good, she said softly, trying to smile. I smirked. I know. Her smile faltered. I needed to see you, she admitted, her voice shaking. I've thought about you every single day. I leaned back, arms crossed. Really? Because when I walked out that door, I don't remember you looking back. She flinched. Tears welled up in her eyes. I made a mistake, she whispered. I thought I wanted something else. But when you left, I realized I had thrown away the best thing in my life. She reached across the table, her fingers trembling. Please, she whispered, tell me there's still a chance. And for the first time, I smiled. Because I finally knew she was drowning in the regret she created. I let her sit there, waiting for my answer. Her eyes, once full of confidence, were now filled with desperation. She wanted me to say something that would undo the past. But I had nothing left to give her. I finally leaned forward, resting my hands on the table. You wanted freedom, I said calmly. You got it. Her breath hitched. She knew what was coming. I know, she whispered, tears slipping down her face, but I didn't know what I was losing. I exhaled slowly, shaking my head. That's the problem, I said. You only realized my worth when I was gone, and now it's too late. Her face crumbled. She opened her mouth to say something, to beg, to plead, to fight for me. But I was already standing up. I pulled out some cash, tossed it on the table, and met her gaze one last time. Take care of yourself, I said simply. And then, just like I did a year ago, I walked away. But this time, she was the one left behind. She didn't chase after me. She didn't call my name. She just sat there frozen, watching as I walked out of her life for the second time. But this time, she knew there was no coming back. As I stepped outside, the cool night air hit my face, but I felt nothing but relief. For a long time, I had wondered what I would say if I ever saw her again. But now, I realized I had already said everything I needed to say by leaving. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't anger. It isn't screaming or proving a point. It's simply moving on. And as I walked into my new life, I knew one thing for sure. She would spend the rest of hers regretting the day she let me go. Final message to the audience. If someone betrays you, don't beg. Don't fight. Just walk away. And when they realize what they lost, let them drown in their own regret. Like and subscribe for more engaging stories.